MyHits hommikus on Piret Laos ja Indrek Vahe ja meil on täna hommikul külaline kaugelt Austraaliast, Benjamin Stanford, a.k.a. DubFX. Hello.
How you going?
What's the story behind your name, Benjamin Stanford? Are you named after the first European in St. Kilda, Benjamin Baxter?
You know, I've never heard of Benjamin Baxter before.
He was the first European in St. Kilda in 1839.
Well,
actually.
Maybe it was a past life of mine. Maybe I was named after that. I'm not sure. I know that my middle name, Gregory, Benjamin Gregory Stanford is my full name, and Gregory is named after my grandfather who died before I was born. But Benjamin, I'm not sure. I think my mum liked the name Benjamin, and Stanford is my last name of my dad's family.
Yeah, but what about DubFX? What's the story behind that name?
That I wanted to have a reggae sort of dub band back in the day, and I wanted to call it DubFX just because I like the name of the sound, because I like dub music, and I was using effects over my vocals to create like lots of dubby sounds, you know. But I never really got a chance to put the band together, and I did this little solo project, and I just called myself Benjamin. And then when I went to Europe and I started street performing, the first day I started street performing with a loop station was in Manchester. And I got lots of people gathered around watching what I was doing, and all these rude boys, you know, with all this minna styles, you know, with the beat and stuff. And at the end of the show, I was like asking them, what are your names? And they were like Blizzard and, you know, Hurricane. And they had all these cool gangster names, and they said, what's your name? And I'm like, Benjamin. And they just laughed at me. And so I was like, DubFX, it was the first thing that came to my head, and they're like, oh yeah, DubFX, okay. And so that was it. That was the moment I became DubFX.
Wow. I've heard that you play guitar. Is that correct?
Very badly, but yes.
Oh, okay. So when did this come that you thought that it's easier or it's better to use your voice rather than some kind of instrumental thing?
Well, it was around that same weekend, actually, that I became DubFX, because before that I was street performing in Italy, and I was using a guitar. Mm-hmm. And I used to play in bands as well. I've been playing guitar since I was 14 years old. I use it to write songs. I'm 33 now. You'd think I'd be really good at it by now, but I'm actually still really bad. But I'm a rhythm guitarist. I just play lots of different chords, and I sing and over the top. And I guess what happened was I did a solo album, and it was designed around playing the guitar and having a backing track, maybe having a band one day. But as soon as I started street performing with it in Italy, it was great. But in Manchester, like before I even had a chance to do it, I showed all these people that I met there my music, and they said they didn't like it. And I said, why? And they said, it sounds too nice.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, and I'm thinking, because, you know, England, they're so ahead with music. In Italy, they're quite behind. In Australia, they're also very behind with music. But in England, they were just like, nah, it's too nice. It doesn't sound original. So I just kind of was like, oh, well, I've been playing around with this loop station, and it was sort of something that I'd been using a little bit in my show. So I was like, I'm just going to go out on the street. I'll just take the loop station and the microphone and see what happens. And that was the day that I became DubFX.
But nowadays, even tonight, are you still alone on a stage with your loop station, or do you have any other musicians with you?
Yeah, no, I have a band with me now. I mean, it's been a long time. It's always been my dream to have a band, really. Mm-hmm. But I was never able to afford one to begin with. And also, you know, it's difficult for people to take me seriously back before I was DubFX, because I didn't take myself very seriously. I was only 20, 22 years old. From that period, I was in bands, and I didn't really, it just was really difficult to organize rehearsals, getting gigs. So I just went off and started traveling and became DubFX on my own. But now, I mean, I find it a lot more fun to jam with other musicians. I feel like I hit my boundaries as far as what I can do by myself, you know. On the street, it's fine because people stand, they watch for 10, 15 minutes. It's great. They leave. Mm-hmm. But when you've got to keep people's attention for an hour and a half, beatboxing does get really boring after a while, you know. I still beatbox, but it's like having piano and bass and stuff. It just makes the music more musical, basically.
So tonight's your gig here in Estonia at Factory, and that's perfect. But that's not your first time here in Estonia. You've been here loads of times already.
Many times. Been a Panu as well.
Yeah. Okay, but I bet you have had loads of gigs as well at different places. So do you remember your maybe last time you were here?
You know, I remember the shows in Tallinn. I remember doing at least 3 shows, but I can't remember. I mean, the last one when I don't even remember when it was, but
Yeah.
I've done like maybe 3 or 4. They all
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
mixed together. I know one was in a big arena somewhere.
Okay.
I think that was in Parnu. And I did another one that was in the city. It was a tiny little one. It was really sweaty. And then I did another one that was a nice big concert, like a big stage.
Okay,
Do you remember it? Were
but
you there?
do you maybe remember our crowd? What is our audience like?
I
Or
do.
no, you do. So,
Yes.
what do you say about that?
I think they're amazing. I remember they were very romantic last time I performed. I think I was here when I came with my ex-girlfriend, Flower Ferry. And she, maybe not the last time, but the time before that. And I remember that the crowd were all holding hands and they were all kissing. And it was very
Really?
cute, yeah.
Is it really Estonian gig you're talking about?
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and the security told me, they're like, normally everyone's really aggressive and
Yeah.
like rah, but tonight with your gig, they're just all so relaxed. I guess that's my whole idea is I promote positive music, and I try to put a good intention. I don't put any negativity into my music, no ego. I try as hard as I can to just promote goodness, and I think the crowd really responds to that.
We've heard that you're gonna shoot a video tomorrow here in Estonia. Is it gonna be just a part of one huge project, or is the full thing gonna be taken from here?
It was just like a last minute idea to make a video for the song, which is the title track of the album. Thinking Clear is the name of the album, and it's actually a secret track on the
okay.
album. You can't find it unless you listen to one of the songs in the middle and you wait for it to end, and then you can hear this track.
Okay.
But it's a really small little track, and it's got a nice message, and I was like, let's just make a video for it. And the guy that I'm working with is an Italian guy, but he works with an Estonian crew all the time. And so they're going to film the whole show tonight, and then, we're going to make a video for this song tomorrow. It's a very small song. So we're going to organize, we're trying to get as many people as we can to come and meet us in the city. I don't exactly know the name of the location myself. They've been posting it on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on at Telliskivi, yeah.
Great.
So people who don't know yet, you can just look from Facebook and go and be there.